Greetings, friends and enemies. Welcome back to Art by Flan, or if this is the first video you watched, welcome. I have recently seen a big boom in subscribers, so hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I make art, mostly speed paints. Occasionally I'll do a challenge or two. This week's picture is pretty simple. I've not been in a good headspace this week, so it's been I just wanted to do something easy so I could make sure to get a video out for you guys, but not worry myself so much about it being, a complicated speed paint. I got several on the back burner that I'm just too lazy to shade. That's really what stopped me. The line art's done, the base colors are done, but I just haven't been able to bring myself to shade it yet, and that's probably the main, most time-consuming part when it comes to my work. But today, we're doing a little character I sketched up while I was at work. I've been trolling around on internet, on Twitter and Instagram, and I've been seeing a lot of people I follow make characters based on Baphomet. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a demon, if you want to get technical, but a lot of them I've seen are either super cutesy or kind of on that leather sexual side, and that's not really the side I wanted to go to because they've all been so cute and so great. I wanted to make one for myself, so I did, and here she is. I don't have an official name for her yet, but I think I'm gonna go with BEPH, B-E-P-H. I think it's just kind of cute, and I wanted to go for a cutesy, chubby kind of look for her. So that's what I did. I've not really got a story, which is why I was so hesitant to actually talk about her for the bulk of this video, because I don't really know a lot about her yet. Most that I know is she's going to be in the same universe as Gamora, and they're going to be buddies. If you're not familiar with Gamora, I have a video or two on my channel about her, so you can go check those out. She's my succubus OC. So if you want to know more about her, definitely check out her videos. I'll have it linked up in the iCard in the top. But yeah, most of what I know is that they're going to be buddies, but gal pals. And not in that gal pals way with, well, actually, you know what? Maybe they're going to be gal pals with that exclamation, with those quotation marks around them. But I just, the biggest thing for me was colors. When I originally drew this, I drew it in my sketchbook, which is why you can see that traditional sketch under there. And my initial concept was pinks. I was going to do like a pastel pink color scheme and have, that would just kind of be her thing, was bright colors and pastels, which is amusing because she's a demon from hell, basically. But I did a mock-up on my surface of the colors, so when I went in with colored pencils, I would have a good reference of what I wanted to do. Well, when I got it home onto my monitors here, the colors were so light they were barely visible. The only thing I could get out of that picture was her shorts, and they were easily the darkest part, and I couldn't get with that color scheme. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it anymore, and it turned out to be for the best because I tried to replicate that with colored pencils in my sketchbook, and that was also a monumental failure, which you'll probably see that in my next sketchbook tour. But once I got her home, I got all of this finished. I got the line art done, I got the shading in. Well, no, I did the line art, and then I just took some time and played with her colors, which I didn't record because I was fiddling with it for 2 or 3 days, just trying to get it to look okay, something I would enjoy, so that's why I didn't include that in this video, but you probably saw a blip of them there before I started shading. But I got something I really liked. It was browns and pinks, and I was again hesitant to do that because of my character Coco, who also is a cowgirl, who's a chubby cowgirl, who also has browns and pinks in her color scheme, just different browns and pinks. So it's like, I gotta get off this color scheme. No more characters with this freaking color scheme. I'm also apparently fond of characters with dark skin and pink hair, so that's just sort of transferred over into this image. Like I said, it's a really simple picture. There's not a lot going on here. I've been trying in my sketchbook specifically to get more dynamic with my poses. My biggest problem is I tend to focus a lot on the looks of the character rather than the pose of the character, so I'm hyper focused on the outfit and the hair and all the accessories and the fun stuff, and I don't really think about the posing, which is a big part of creating a character only piece, which is a lot of my work. But I've been trying to work on that, and if I don't do that. If I don't think about doing a pose, I end up with very similar poses. Like, I am so bad for just drawing a sassy hand on the hip. That is like the worst thing for me. I will always default to that pose. Or if they're sitting, or if it's like, okay, I'm gonna mix it up and do a sitting pose. Like, they're always facing kind of to the left and they got some leg bent up. It's awful. I'm awful when it comes to posing. So I've been trying to focus a lot on looking up references and just drawing a character that fits that reference. But in this case, I did want to focus on her design rather than the pose, because I was initially designing her for the first time. So that's why it's kind of lame, but again, I wanted to do something simple for this week so as not to stress myself out and worry too much. I'm sorry if this voiceover is kind of rambling. I don't really have a lot to say, so I'm just sort of kind of plucking whatever comes to mind from my head. And if you don't want to hear me ramble, you could always just mute the video and play your own music, I guess, if you'd like. It's not going to be too hyper intensive. You're not going to miss much by not hearing me talk. Like I said, I'm not giving you super details about this particular character. I did post her on Instagram and people seemed to love her. So maybe expect more of her in the future. She's super duper fun to draw and she's so cute and I want to flesh her out even more. But I got sucked back into Breath of the Wild because I ended up getting a Nintendo Switch, so I'm playing it for that. I had a couple hours in it on the Wii U version, which if you watch my vlogs, you probably saw that. But I sort of fell out with it because Brooke was always playing, because really she's the bigger Legend of Zelda fan out of the two of us. And I initially bought Breath of the Wild for the Wii U so she could play it and didn't have to wait for me to get a Switch to try it out. But I ended up getting a Switch, so I'm playing it on that. She's still playing it on the Wii U. And instead of drawing at work, I've been playing that, which I shouldn't be playing video games at work, I know, but all my breaks and stuff, it's super duper fun to just be able to pull out the Switch and just literally have this game that is massive just right there. This shouldn't be a Switch rambly video, but so I'm trying something a little different here. I just started going, I go in with a second pass to kind of deepen the shadows, but instead of just leaving it as, say, a darker color, I decided to use the marker tool and the blur tool to kind of blend it out and give it a little softer, darker feel. It's not a perfect technique, but I'm getting better. So it's a start. It's an idea, and it looks okay in the finished piece. So I can't wait to apply it to some other pieces of mine and get some better techniques going on there. I've been really unhappy with how I shade lately, so I'm trying to find ways to improve, and that includes getting references for things and just trying new techniques. I know I don't want to do a painterly style anymore, because I did a painterly style for a lot of years, and I just love bold line art too much, and it just clashes so hard with a painterly style when I do it. So I sort of nixed that idea a long time ago and just sort of went on to cell shading. And I know some people consider that the easier shading or whatever, but it's hard for me. Shading has always been hard for me. But yeah, I like how this came out. I also struggled really hard on the background for this, and you'll see that in the finished piece. Like, her colors in the background were the hardest part. Everything else just sort of flowed naturally. The sketching process was easy and fast, and, you know, the shading process was no problem. Just actually picking out her colors and deciding on a background was the hardest part. I struggled with those so hard. And the background, which you'll see again at the end here, is not even that complicated. Like, I'm not one for complicated backgrounds. That's something else I wanted to improve on eventually, getting better at more coherent, complicated backgrounds, which actually sort of feeds into that pose thing, because a background is easier when you have your character doing something. So if my character's in a cafe, if my character's sitting with a coffee cup, I could put her in a cafe or in front of a window, have a book or something, but I don't do that, so posing and backgrounds are hard. So this is the finished piece. If you like what you see, don't forget to click that like button. You can always subscribe, and don't forget to listen to the dogs bark, and don't forget to click that little bell so you can get a notification every time I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye-bye.